Hi everybody, Dan Illman here taking a look at Saturday's race number 9 at Santa Anita. It's the Grade 2 City of Hope Mile. It's a nice card at Santa Anita, and you might want to get down with DRF bets. Sign up at bets.drf.com, receive a 300% deposit match. Here's the field for the City of Hope Mile, and perhaps we'll get a Breeders' Cup Mile entrant or two out of this field. A field of 9, the number 8, Sharp Samurai, a Keeneland grad, ridden by Gary Stevens, is your 2-to-1 morning line favorite. Let's take the field in post-position order, however, beginning with the number 1, Double Touch. And this is a much improved son of Dutch Art, trained by Dan Blacker. This horse came from well off the pace to win the restricted Wicker Stakes at Del Mar last time out. I thought he had a very good setup in that race. The pace was pretty fast. They went the first quarter mile in 22-1, and Double Touch received a beautiful ride from Gary Stevens, who was able to find the pocket entering the far turn, then eased to the 2-path, then angled back to the rail. Every move Gary made was the right move, and Double Touch was able to win that race by a head. I think circumstances from a pace standpoint and that great ride led to Double Touch's victory. He might get a nice pace setup one more time. He's going to step up in class, and we'll see how he handles graded stakes foes. We talk about it so many times on our shows here on DRFTV. East Coast turf horses seem to make hay when they ship out west, and the number 2 White Flag is based in New York for the excellent trainer Christophe Clement, and he's coming into this City of Hope Mile in very good form, just missing in a Grade 3 race at Kentucky Downs last time out. And I think the 6.5 at Kentucky Downs plays more like 7.5 or a mile. A mile shouldn't be too much of an issue for White Flag. He has been a turf sprinter for much of his career, but he's got good tactical speed. I would expect Kent Desormeaux to break here and settle in behind the leaders, perhaps in that coveted pocket position. White Flag deserves consideration simply because he's an East Coast horse shipping to the West Coast, and he's run some solid races for a solid barn. The number 3 is LeCen, and LeCen's going to be one of the longest shots on the board as he makes his first start for legendary trainer Ron McAnally. And while LeCen might be a little bit overmatched, it's worth noting that he is a Group 1 winner at a mile in his native Argentina. His most recent run was the Del Mar Mile, where he finished behind the 2 favorites in this race. But I don't really think he had much of a chance in that race. Dismissed at 114-1. Tyler Bays had him down towards the inside every step of the way, buried behind horses, and it looked like he actually ran on a little bit in the stretch and galloped out nicely. I wonder if LeCen, with a little bit of a freshening after that race and a hot pace expected. We put up the Timeform US pace projector, and you'll notice that that red bar indicates that the pace should be fast, and the 6 and the 9 might be contesting a fast pace. That sets things up for closers. Horses like the 1 Double Touch and horses like the 3 LeCen. Maybe LeCen's not a likely winner, but I think he's going to outrun his odds once again in this spot on Saturday. The number 4 Flamboyant is last on the pace projector, and that's not a bad place to be, considering we are expecting a contested and fast pace up front. This 7-year-old millionaire just keeps rolling along, and he finished behind a nice horse in his most recent start. Ashley Love Sugar finished directly ahead of Flamboyant and came right back to finish second in the graded John Henry Turf Championship last week with a 97 Beyer speed figure. Flamboyant can go long, he can go short. I like his kick better at this mile distance at this point in his career, and a fast pace sets things up for Flamboyant. He should be charging hard in the stretch. The number 5 is Ohio, and Ohio, ridden by Drayden Van Dyke, in 2016 looked like he was a horse with graded stakes potential. He was 3rd in the Del Mar Mile, and then it just didn't seem to go right, and he tumbled down the class ladder. He was claimed by Michael McCarthy for $50,000. McCarthy then dropped him all the way down to 28 for his last start, and Ohio finally came through. He beat a couple of minor next-out winners in that claiming race, but he also got an electric pace to rally into. A half mile in 45-1 for those $32,000 claimers. That's fast, and Ohio was able to summon up some of his back class. He steps way up in class here. The number 6, Psycho Sister, is a mare taking on the boys, and she's won her last 2 races in Northern California for a high percentage trainer. She knows one way to go. go, and that is to the front. And if she goes to the lead here, as we saw on the pace projector, there's a very good chance that she might hook up at some point in the running with the classy and talented Fly to Mars. Psycho Sister has done nothing wrong this year. 4 wins from 9 starts, but she is taking a big step up against the boys, and she might face pace pressure. Also down from Northern California is Mythcal, a very, very consistent runner in his own right. First or second in his last 4 races, making his 3rd start of the form cycle. But in his most recent start, the Rolling Green Stakes at Golden Gate Fields, I thought he made a pretty easy lead. It took a nice horse in Alert Bay, a salty veteran, to run him down in the stretch, and Mythcal was easily second best. But I think he prefers to be close to the pace, not necessarily outright on it, but close, and if this pace is fast as he steps up in class, it could work against him. The horse they're all going to have to beat is the number 8, Sharp Samurai, who has won 7 of 13 lifetime and just relishes the Santa Anita turf course with 4 victories here. He might have been best in the Del Mar Mile last time out, but I think he was at least second best. He finished 3rd and was placed 2nd via disqualification. While he was making his run in mid-stretch, Fly to Mars came out on him, and he pinched badly in between horses Sharp Samurai. Gary Stevens had to take up an angle to the inside, and he lost all chance in that race. Still, he earned a 100 buyer speed figure. That's 2 races in a row now with triple-digit buyers. He has a versatile running style. Expect Gary to have him in mid-pack off of this pace, and he could get the jump on the true closers in the lane. He is very, very dangerous, although I do like him a little bit slightly longer distance than a mile. His class might prevail. Fly to Mars is in great form for Peter Miller. Like Sharp Samurai, he has run 2 consecutive triple-digit buyers coming into this race, but he was getting a little bit tired last time out in the Del Mar Mile. He pressed the pace, he took over, it looked like he had a big shot at winning, and then he got a case of the drifts, drifting out right into Sharp Samurai and causing him to take up, and then he was disqualified. He is capable at a mile, but with a fast pace expected, I'm not sure if a mile is his best game. I think that Flavian Pratt's going to let Psycho Sister go. I think he realizes that that one is 20 to 1 on the morning line. He doesn't want to get into a prolonged duel. He will sit second with Fly to Mars. He'll get the jump on Sharp Samurai turning into the stretch, and then we'll see if he's classy enough to win this race. We're going to take a look at my top selection in this race. My top selection is not the most likely winner in this race, but a horse that I want to use in single race exotics on the bottom at the very least, and that is the number 3, Leken. No match for Fly to Mars or Sharp Samurai last time out, on a bit of a losing streak, and now going out for the now low-profile McAnally Barn, the great Hall of Fame trainer. But I think there's going to be a good pace. I like the way he finished down towards the inside last time out, and I wonder if he's finally starting to get into form. He's going to be one of the longest shots on the board. But of course, in any kind of multiple race wagers, I would want to use the 2 favorites, Sharp Samurai and Fly to Mars. I'll go 3, 9, 8, and 1 in the Grade 2 City of Hope Mile, a major stakes race at Santa Anita on Saturday, and a race you can bet with a DRF Bets account. Sign up and get that 300% deposit match at bets.drf.com. Approximate post time for the Grade 2 City of Hope Mile, 4:44 Pacific. Good luck.